Hello, everybody. Welcome to iConCity. My name is James, and this is a look at our Light Deck Studio icon pack. Now, I thought it'd be best to make a video to explain kind of what I've done and how you guys can get set up and get started with this icon pack. This icon pack contains 200 icons, and for obvious reasons, there is no profile included because you're going to need to set it up on your own. So the reason for this video is for me to help you do that. And in this case, we'll be looking at the Nanoleaf because obviously that's what I have installed here. And you're able to see the changes that I'm making live as I create the profile. But it'll pretty much go through Philips Hue and any other standard lighting you have, such as Elgato. So you'll see straight away on our Stream Deck, we already have a set built up here. And this is something that yours might look like also. You'll see I've got light strips there, bulbs, and things like brightness and temperature over here. Also, you see on and off switches. So what we can do through the Elgato software is we're going to create a new profile and look at our folder structure and what you get with the icon pack. So let's do that right now. So here you can see we have the Stream Deck icon software open. And the first thing we're going to do is go to our cog here, give it a single click. Okay, and then also we've got general accounts profiles, and then we're just going to press the plus button down here. That'll create a new profile. Right click on it, and we'll rename that Light Deck Studio. There we go, spell that correctly, Light Deck Studio. Let's put iConCity in there as well. There we go. So there is our profile created there. Let's get rid of that button there. Now in here you'll see office lighting, and all the way down here is our Light Deck Studio profile, which is now blank. And as you see, our Stream Deck has gone blank as well. So now what we're going to do is we've got this blank area here. We're going to navigate to our areas on the right hand side of our panel here. Now I've got them all listed here. And depending on what light system you're using, you may need to go online and download that plugin. Okay, so to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the plus icon here. This loads up the studio here, and we search here for Nanoleaf, for example. Nano, and there you go. And I'm just going to press the install button. As you can see, I've already done that. Okay. Now, likewise, we could also type in here Philips. There we go, Philips Hue, and then install that as well there. And that'll get you all access to all of the way a Stream Deck is going to interact with our light pack. Okay, so that's the online store as it is right now. So once those are installed, you'll see them listed here. So here's Nanoleaf there. Okay, there's everything we do with Nanoleaf. We've got navigation pane, which we'll be using later on as well there. And also Philips Hues here as well. Okay, so everything to do with Philips Hues there. So they're kind of like the two popular ones, and then maybe Elgato and other makes thereafter, such as Govee, etc. So as I said, in this case, what we can do is we're going to build a profile for my Nanoleafs that I have here, and we'll show you how to do it. So the first thing we do is we need a on-off button to go here on the top left. So to do that, let's go to our Nanoleaf. You'll see it's got on-off here. We can click and drag that over to there. So straight away, it gives us our basic one. Now this is where kind of, when I looked at having these installed in my office, and I've got lots of manufacturers here near. I've got Elgato, Govee, and Nanoleaf. Is I found that the interface just didn't sit right with me. I didn't really know what was going on with my lights just by glancing down at my Stream Deck. So I came up with the idea with this Light Studio because it made sense to me to have and be able to see what was going on just by looking down at my Stream Deck. So the first thing we do with that is we've dragged it in there. That's our power switch. And again, this is for our Nanoleafs over here. So I'll come over to my Nanoleaf section. Okay, dragged it in, which we've done already. There it is there. And now we're going to go over to our folder that we've downloaded from iConCity. Now, here's what it looks like. As of right now, you'll see we've got, and we'll have a quick look through the folders along the way. So we've got a bulb icon with colors. So here's all the colors of the bulbs that we can pick. We've got a color palette. Okay, so if you don't like the look at bulbs, we can just use color palettes. And then we've got something called companies. So the idea is with companies that you can go to your company name and drag ready-made icons with their name underneath. Okay, so in this case, it's just generic. So all the icons sit in the middle. So we've got company no text center image. Then we've got company Elgato. So now you see the word Elgato actually written across all the icons there. We've got a generic one which just says lights. So if you don't have any company names, we can just use the word lights or don't have a sort of tag at all. There's our Govee one with all the Govee things there. There's our Nanoleaf. Again, Nanoleaf's got a bit more going on right there, so we'll have a look at that later. There's our Philips Hue, and again, we've got all of our scenes in there as well, which is kind of cool. We've got something called equipment. So these are obviously icons which might be useful. So we've got LED strips, light box, ring light, SLR camera, smart plugs for European, UK and USA, spotlight, tripod, and umbrella lights. So these might be all the equipment that you might have in your office that you want to link to it. Got a cool LED strip there with all the colours and the multicolour light there too. Miscellaneous icons. So these are things like little bits that we'll add in as time goes on. So we've got a Discord channel, guys, that you can jump into. And as we change stuff, that's a place to come register your product and get updates, which will be free for this, which is great. We've got a set of numbers here, 1 to 9. A set of presets. And as you see, we've got presets with like a blank space underneath. Okay, the idea is that you can actually type in what you want underneath that. They got the word presets, and then a centralized icon. So you can have it. So once you know what it is, you don't really need to have the word presets, right? It's nice just to have an icon to stare at. And then we have, last but not least, the room icons button. And again, this is all about letting you configure your light system the way that can make sense to you. I'm just here to guide to show you how to set it up, and you're going to obviously go through this icon pack and make it your own. And that's what I really want you guys to do. Okay, because I know when we have people come to Discord, they thought, how do I do it? How am I going to set this up? Can you help me do it? So this is why I thought it'd be a good idea to get this out first. Okay, so let's work on our Nanoleaf profile. So to do that, we're gonna look at our Nanoleaf folder here. There we go. And as I said, here's our standard on/off button from the software. So I actually use this one here, which makes sense to me. Click and drag that into this section. Hit the little white button, then hit the off section. Okay. So when we look over here now, when I press, ta-da! Lights are now off. Lights are now on. Cool, right? So that works straight out the bag. Next up, we're going to look at brightness, because brightness is a big thing when it comes to these lights. Again, which lights are on, which lights, at what setting are the brightness on. So obviously, simply enough, what we've got to do here is go to our Elgato software. In this case, the brightness here. Let's drag it here and drop it there. Okay, and I'm going to grab 100% brightness like that and drag it into there, like so. Now you'll see it's got the word brightness, and here's the value here. It's set at 50, that's in the middle. So we're just going to drag that up to the word 100. So that's now 100. So we're going to do that again. So let's drag it down here, because I either want it really bright or just dim, right? So I want it on, of course, so that's the on button. I want it really bright or just want it dim. So here, I'm going to drop this down to maybe say 25 here. And I'm going to grab the 25 icon there, and drag it into there like that. There you go. So I'll now go to my Stream Deck down here, press 25, and there we go. They're all at 25 brightness. Let's whack up to 100, super bright. There we go, and it's jumped up to that for me like that. Okay, so as you see, working perfectly. Next up, we can do something called sort of color picker. Okay, so let's grab the word color. And again, you can see why I built this pack now, because as you drag that in and we look at our interface down here, it's just got like this thing, right? This icon that doesn't really represent what's going on with this right now. So the idea here is we could now drag a simple color. So let's do that. So let's go back up here and let's go color palette, and let's choose, I don't know, red. Drag that in here. Now all we've got to do is go to this little white palette here, click on the red, press OK. So now we look down at our Stream Deck and we press the red, and this is going to go to red. makes sense, doesn't it? It's so good, and I love it for this. This is why it makes perfect sense to build something like this. So next up, what we could do is extend this color palette not just to be red, but we might like it's red, but we want to maybe have more colors in it. So to do that, what we do is we're going to go up to the word navigation here, and we have the word create folder. Okay, guys. So click on the blue box here, grab create folder into there, drag and drop, it creates this folder icon. See, there it is. Now what we need is a little button to tell it's going to do that. So let's go to our Nanoleaf folder. And here we have these two optional color palettes that you can choose. So let's going to grab this one here and drag it in here. So we can see this whole line represents Nanoleaf. This whole top line there represents Nanoleaf. So now I've dragged it in there. I could type in here like desktop. Let's go DES, or just desk like that. And what I've done is I want to match kind of my font here to do that. Let's click on here and see what we're default. And what I've done is I've gone with Arial Black, okay, and roughly, again, depending on your eyesight, guys, but you can change this from sort of an 8, 9, 10's just overlapping slightly, but look at the deck to see how that's reacting. I think it's pretty cool. So that's why we've got these kind of like little space under here. So now we've got Nano Desk. If I double click that, this is the folder that I'm now sitting aside of there. So we want to get rid of this awful bit of navigation here. And the way we do that is we go to the word miscellaneous icons, drag this arrow, and that gives us a nice pretty arrow to go back into our original thing there. Okay, so let's click on there. So now we can go and create our own palette. Now, obviously, you can do this lots of different ways. So I'm going to grab the word color, grab the word color. This is the Nanoleaf colors, guys, and drag it into here. So now we're going to set all these up to be anything I want. Instead of having these awful green little icons here, I can choose to have a bulb, for example. Click on the blue there. Let's obviously try and get it as close to that blue as you want. Press OK. So now if I click on the blue, ta-da! That easy. Click on the next one. So let's go for maybe purple. There we go. Click on here. Let's look for this purple there. Press OK. And then bang, purple. Okay, it's starting to make sense, right? Really, really easy. Now, likewise, I could have gone to color palettes and just dragged the orange into there like that. Clicked onto here. Gone to the orange there. And I'll just press orange like that. And there we go, there's orange. So again, it's really cool that you can see how this is working really, really simply. There's a green one there. Into the green. And when you're playing Modern Warfare, this is a great colour to be playing with. Okay, cool. So that's one way of kind of creating a really good palette that you can instantly access or go into there or pick anyone like that. And you see it's really, really responsive. Love it for that. Now, obviously, this is where you want to take it next, because everything I've showed you here is exactly the same if I was going to use the Govee, for example. So here's Govee controller. Drag it on there. There's our simple, whatever it might be, on-off switch. So let's click on here. Let's make it an on switch. So by clicking there, it's made it on. Let's find my folder, Govee folder. You see it's got the word Govee, and again, it's just helping me see on my deck exactly what I'm doing with. So that's going to turn it on. Okay, there it is there. Now, again, brightness. So let's have a look at my options within Govee, because it's going to give me not all the options I want, but it's got color there, brightness. So I could drag brightness there. So it's going to say what device do we want to make bright. So you see I've got lots of different ones here. I've got back wall on the right. That's just behind me to the right. And I could change that right down to say 14%, or in this case, let's make it this 25 where the icon's made for that. Drag it in there. Okay. So I'll make that 25% brightness. And again, I always find with Govee, there's a slight delay with Govee as opposed to Nanoleaf. Nanoleaf seems to be really quick. Govee seems to have a little lag there for me, whether it's just my office, I don't really know. Next up, we have color. So let's grab the color into our Govee strip here. In this case, we can grab maybe this here. Okay, so that gives us a color. Could be any color you want. Again, click on the black bar there, choose blue. and that'll make that blue if I give that a click. Obviously, I won't do that right now. What else we got? We've got color temperatures as well. So again, we're looking at our Elgato software to see how we can change all of this. So color temperature there, drag that in there like that. And again, underneath you could type in here 20 or whatever you want to do, and that's going to sit underneath there. What's going to affect, so back wall, and then drag that down to cool the white or whatever it might be. So as we can see, we can build, that's one complete strip. That's one complete strip. We can see they're on, we can see what color they can be, and what colors we have access to, like so. Very, very cool. And again, I think we've got an Elgato one here. So here, this is the Elgato one. So if you've got any Elgato light strips, etc., we can grab that into here. Okay, so there it is inside there. And then we've got the on and off there as well. So let's go to Elgato folder. There we go, Elgato green. There's our off. There we go, so it's on or off. And then we've got set the color. And again, it's going to look at here, accessory. So if you've got more than one light or an LED strip, it's going to list it here in accessories. So we can set this to, again, maybe a red. So there it is, red. And again, not too cool about this built-in graphic that they've given us there. So I can now go over there, grab the red. Whoop, let's select it first. Okay, grab that red bulb and drop it in. And now we can see it here like so. Likewise, also, just a quick tip, we can Control C, copy that, Control V, drop it into there. That saves us doing a lot more dragging. Move this around to the yellow, and then drag the yellow bulb in there like so. So that's a quick way of sort of copy and pasting those inside of there. So what happens when we run out of room or want to be a bit more clever with what we're doing? Well, there's a few things we can do. We would press this little plus button here, and go back one. You'll see it now because there's a little arrow here. And we can go to our great bit of miscellaneous icons and exchange this awful little white thing to something a little bit bolder. Give it one click, drag and drop, and then that'll take us into a new page. Okay, so we've got pages 1 and now pages 2. So this back icon, let's change it to our funky icon to keep it all looking like a studio. See, it's got this like pitted round sections at the back, and we're all using great colors to make our Stream Deck pop and look alive. Love it, love it, love it. So that's one way of creating strips of information for different equipment you might have in your room. And as I said, this is all about you going into what I've created here. So you've got room icons here. So this doesn't really have to be a button. It could just be a picture that you didn't click on. So for example, if just grab anything in here, I don't know, maybe a hotkey, right? Just a simple hotkey. So if I go up to, here we go. If we've got the systems, you'll see the word hotkey there. So just drag that in there, because we've got to have something in that space to put an icon in. So this might just be like a placeholder for you. So you might say, I don't know, we've got in here PC, desk. So I can grab my desk in there. So there's my desk. And then we could have, again, grab my Nanoleaf here. Okay, and just put a color. Okay, that I want my desk to be. This is a good example of it working for you. And we're going to make that yellow, like so. There we go. So just by doing that, click that little white box, make it yellow, press OK. So our desk now is a picture of a desk, and underneath it is yellow. Likewise, we can take that desk, Control C, Control V, that's copied it in. Let's go to our room icons. And we might have our shelf behind us. Okay, so there's our desk in front, got a shelf behind us, and in this shelf, let's create a color, okay, or maybe an effect. Let's grab an effect, shall we? Drop an effect in there. Okay, there's our effect, and because we're using Nanoleaf, it's got all these built-in effects that we could use, pop rocks, for example. Now, what I've done with Nanoleaf, this is a cool little extra, if you like, is if I go into our Nanoleaf folder, we'll see Nanoleaf effects, and I've created this whole sort of library of the Nanoleaf effects. Just by looking at it, you can see what's going to happen. In this case, I can use Cozy Blaze, right? So I'm going to grab Cozy Blaze into there. click on here and highlight the word Cozy Blaze. So now when I press it, I get this kind of like really warm sort of, it kind of fades in and out, okay? So again, Nanoleaf didn't create these. I hand created all of these, and you've got 22 of these in there, all right? So the idea is that all these presets now have an icon that goes with it. Cool, okay. Apologies for the watermark. I have to use that, okay? Obviously, there'll be no watermark when you have it on there. So that's how I've designed all of this. So the idea is that you can create the icons with the colors, the desk with the colors, create folders so you can have access to all of these. So if I wanted this shelf to have access to more than just one preset here, I could click on there, create a folder. So there's a folder icon in there. Let's go and have a look at our the word presets there. And I could grab the preset button like that. Okay, so there's my shelf. Now underneath it represents the presets. If I click on that, it now takes me to a folder. And in here, I could now grab all my effects, for example, that I want to use. Go to my Nanoleaf effects folder here and drag these into here now, for example. Again, it's going to randomly drag them into there. There we go. So maybe that's all the ones I like. So there's Tuscany there. So let's match that with the word Tuscany. I've got a custom one there, so if I've done it a certain colour, I could change it there as well. Let's go. We've got beat drop there. Like, okay, and let's quickly change this back arrow again. So again, works really better having these two folders either side here. Miscellaneous icons. Let's change this back arrow because I love it all to look great. Right. So there we go. So there's beat drop there, being quite funky. And there's my Tuscany sunrise there as well. Okay, so you can see how using the room icons and then the presets underneath them would work with a folder icon, etc. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's a look at kind of using Light Deck Studio from iConCity. I hope that makes sense, and the reason why I've built it is because it looks great now, and you really feel like you can control your lights, create these folders, drop your presets in, and they all look great. And you can see you've got all your on and offs here working as well. So if I tap that, you see it goes grey out there. Tap it on, it's back on, right? Just makes perfect sense now, and we can still cycle through all these colours here, green, whatever. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that makes perfect sense. Got any questions? Send me a little message down here. We've got a great Discord of great people that you can interact with. Please come along and have a chat with us there too. Cheers. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.